All right, let's dive into something really fascinating. We're talking about how a new wave of financial companies, fintechs, are doing more than just changing how we handle our money. They are completely rewriting the rulebook for marketing itself. And it all kicks off with one pretty bold question.
So this slogan, it's from the mobile banking app Current, and it just perfectly sums up this whole revolution, doesn't it? It's a little cheeky, it's super direct, and right away it sets itself apart from the old, stuffy institutions. This isn't just an ad, it's basically a declaration of war on business as usual.
And this slide, this is the heart of the conflict. For decades, financial marketing was all about conservative messages, super complex terms, and a total lack of transparency. Fintechs came in and just flipped the script. They chose a totally new way of doing things, one that's engaging, that's relatable, and that's actually accessible to normal people, not just finance nerds.
So, how do they pull this off? What's the secret sauce behind all this success? Well, we're about to break down the new playbook these companies are using to connect with millions and millions of people.
When you boil it all down, fintech marketing does one thing incredibly well. It makes money less intimidating. It takes these really complicated financial products and just makes them simple. And it does it by using the tools we all use every day: social media, influencers, and content that actually teaches you something useful.
This whole strategy, it really comes down to these four things. First, making finance feel human, relatable. Second, being almost shockingly transparent. Third, creating genuine engagement. And last but not least, educating your audience instead of just trying to sell them something. These are the four pillars we're about to dig into.
Okay, so the theory is great and all, but let's see what this playbook actually looks like out in the wild. We're going to dive into some of the most groundbreaking campaigns to see exactly how they put these ideas to work.
So the first big idea here is all about human connection. It combines two of those pillars we just mentioned, relatability and education. These companies figured out that before you'll trust them with your money, they have to prove they get you. They get your life, your goals, and yeah, even your worries about money.
And you can see different brands tackling this in their own unique ways. Wealth Simple actually launched a magazine to teach people about finance, positioning themselves as a guide you can trust. Robinhood's We Are All Investors campaign was brilliant. It used stories from real users to make the intimidating world of investing feel like something anyone could do. And SoFi, they went for the heartstrings, using authentic storytelling to show the real-life impact of their loans.
All right, next up is a huge one: transparency. For the longest time, the financial industry has been known for hidden fees and confusing fine print. Fintechs didn't see this as a problem. They saw it as their single biggest opportunity.
And this quote just nails it. Trust and credibility are the absolute currency of finance. In an industry where people are, let's be honest, naturally skeptical, being transparent isn't just a nice-to-have. It's a full-on survival strategy.
Just look at how these two brands built their entire identities around honesty. Wise, which used to be TransferWise, launched their whole Nothing to Hide campaign to go right after the hidden fees in international money transfers. Revolut took a slightly different path, focusing on giving users total control with their app's features, building confidence by literally putting people in the driver's seat of their own finances.
So what's the next piece of the puzzle? Engagement. How on earth do you take a subject that's usually as dry as toast and make it exciting? How do you get people to not just use your app, but to actually talk about it, to share it, and to feel like they're part of something?
Well, they pulled out all the stops. We're seeing gamification, like turning payments into a weekly cash giveaway. We see these massive deals with influencers and celebrities. They're tapping into pop culture and even running campaigns that get users to create and share their own stuff.
Let's just zoom in on Cash App's Cash App Fridays for a second. This campaign was genius. It wasn't just about giving away money. It turned a simple financial transaction into a social event people looked forward to every week. It built a real community, boosted loyalty, and most importantly, it made finance fun. And of course, you can't talk about modern marketing without talking about star power. Binance partnered up with Cristiano Ronaldo to take a really niche concept like NFTs and blast it out to his hundreds of millions of fans. And who could forget Klarna teaming up with Snoop Dogg? They used his super laid-back, funny vibe to make their buy now, pay later service feel cool and totally approachable, especially for a younger crowd.
Okay, so let's zoom out. Why should any of this matter if you don't work in finance? Because, and this is the key point, this isn't just a fintech story. This is a story about modern marketing, period. The lessons here are basically a blueprint for any industry that's trying to connect with a new generation.
So here are the big takeaways. First, connect with people on a human level. Don't just shove products at them. Second, remember that clarity is kindness. Being transparent builds a kind of trust that you just can't buy. Third, make your brand memorable by making it fun and interactive. And finally, empower your audience with knowledge. When you do that, you don't just get customers, you create your biggest fans.
And the proof is absolutely undeniable. The 10 campaigns we've touched on are just a few examples of this massive shift. This new approach isn't some theory. It's a powerful, proven strategy that has completely transformed one of the world's biggest and oldest industries.
So that leaves us with one final thought to chew on. Fintechs use this combination of relatability, education, transparency, and pure fun to completely reinvent finance. The real question is, what industry is next?